Well, good morning everybody. How y'all doing? Pretty good here, and welcome to the channel. Hey, it is Christmas time, and I thought, I'm going to compile a little list, a little Tacoma Christmas list for 2019. Because after all, it looks like Christmas out here, right? I mean, the palm trees are a little droopy, it's a little cloudy out here, and I must say, it's a little chilly. I think we're right about 72 degrees right now. So anyway, I thought I'd compile a little list of Tacoma mods or Tacoma accessories for the Toyota Tacoma. For those of you out there who are Toyota Tacoma lovers, Toyota Tacoma owners, a few things that you might be interested in for your Tacoma up there. So let's get started right off. First of all, is the Tacoma TRD Pro shift knob. Just a little thing to kind of accent the interior of your truck. It's got that red stitching or red highlight in it. It's got leather on it. It feels good. It looks good. And something that you're going to use every time you get in the truck, because I don't know how you shift into gear if you don't touch your shift knob. Next up is the forged billet aluminum TRD oil cap. Now, this looks awesome under the hood. When you pop it up, to check your oil, you do check your oil, right? Or your filters, or just to have a look under the hood. Nothing like popping that thing up and having a nice little accented oil cap right there. First thing that's gonna draw your eye. Next up, we move into the interior again a little bit. The Glovebox organizer. The Tacoma didn't come with anything. It's just a hole there, right? You throw your junk in there and then you hope you can find it when you need it. Let's say for some reason you need to whip out your registration and proof of insurance. You'll have it right there. It has little slots in it, a big one where you can stick your manual, and then some smaller ones where you can put paperwork or pens or tire pressure gauges or whatever you might want to store in there. Next up, since we're on the topic of organization, is the center console organizer. Now, these, of course, are just little partitions where you can put your stuff. Because if you're like me, you open up that thing and you throw junk in there, and then when you need to find it, you can't find it because it gets all shuffled around, everything's on top of everything. This will at least give you areas where you can put things. Maybe one area where the most important things that you need would be so that you can find them when you're sitting at that stoplight or you're driving down the road, and don't do that. But when you're driving down the road and you want to reach in there and grab something, it just makes things easier to find. Right up on top of that, the center console shelf. This is one of my favorite things for organization in the truck. It's that little tray. It's got the little area where you can put stuff. It doesn't roll around in there. It's got a little rubberized kind of pad in there. And then it also has that little change area. For when you're at the McDonald's picking up the sweet tea and you need that 7 or 8 cents to balance out that $1.08. It's sitting right there. Just pop open the lid and grab some change. That way you don't have it rattling around all over in there either. That drives me nuts when I'm driving down the road. Things are rattling and I can't figure out what it is. Chances are it's that quarter knocking up against that dime that you've got laying somewhere. Also has a slot in it where you can run a cord out, if you want to charge your phone with a cord or something, if you don't have the wireless charger in the front. And then last, it's easy to get out. It's not permanent. You just grab it and pick it up. If you want to get down into the bottom of the console area, the center console area, pretty easy to get to. It fits in there painlessly. You don't have to fumble around with it. Pretty easy to use. One of my favorites. Next up, the seat gap pocket, or the seat gap stuffer as I like to call it. Now what this is, it's just a pouch almost, if you will. Fits in between the seat and the center console area, and it's open. So you can put paperwork in there. Again, if you need to access that registration and insurance card for some reason, you just keep it right there, reach down, it's right beside you, easy to get to. You can clip a pin over the edge of it if you want, instead of having pins laying all over the place. And the other good thing about it, you ever had a pin explode in your truck? You got ink everywhere, right? At least with this, it would be contained within that little organizer so that it's not all over your seats and all over the place. The other thing is food. You ever drop a fry in your truck? I think anybody who eats in their truck, and I know a lot of you don't, but I know a lot of you do. I've done it. You drop a fry, and for some reason, it always goes down in between the seats, right? And then you have to become a contortionist, right? The next time you park, you're underneath, you're trying to find that fry, you're all over the place. Let it fall in the seat gap filler. You just pull it out, turn it upside down. The food's gone. That way you don't attract any unwanted passengers, you know, ants, flies, mice, rats, who knows. Next up, the Toyota seatbelt shoulder pad, and it even comes with a Toyota lanyard. Now what that is, it's the little pad that goes over your seatbelt that protects your shoulder. You know, this area right here, if you've ever been on a long trip, that seatbelt tightens up. For some reason, it just wants to hold you in there as tight as it can, right? So it tightens up a bit, starts to kind of stab into your shoulder there, this area a little bit. This will help stop the pain. Gives you a little bit of padding between your skin and the strap itself, just for better comfort. And it looks good. It's got the Toyota lettering on it, it's got the red accenting, kind of go right along with that TRD Pro shift knob. Just dress up the interior a little bit, give you a little bit of color in there. Lastly, for the inexpensive things, is the TRD, or the Toyota TRD valve stem caps. Now, if you're like me, sooner or later, one comes up missing. I don't know if it just eventually gets loose and flies off somewhere, but you probably need one right now. These look awesome. They'll dress up your tire wheel combo a little bit, obviously protect your valve stem, and they look good. Like I said, probably something you need right now anyway, and it won't break the bank to get these. Now, the next two, a little bit more expensive. Getting into a little bit more heavier modding here. First one, TRD cold air intake. Now, for me, this was an aesthetic choice. I love the looks of it under the hood, right? Dresses things up a little bit. When I pop the hood to do whatever, you know, a mod, or to check my oil and my air filter and my other fluids and all that stuff, it just pops right there for you, right? One of the first things you see when you open up the hood, and it looks awesome. Now, some people have claimed that it'll give you extra power and it'll give you more sound. To be honest with you, I haven't noticed that myself. It really is just an aesthetic touch as far as I'm concerned. The other benefit of having it is it gives you a little bit of satisfaction. It's a mod that you can do yourself. Shouldn't take you more than an hour, probably half an hour, and you get that satisfaction when you're done, right? A job well done is a job well appreciated by yourself. Just a little sprucing up of the engine bay there. Lastly, is the TRD Pro front skid plate. Now this is one that originally I didn't think I'd be interested in because I wasn't real cool about the color, you know? It didn't really flip my trigger. But I thought, I can change that, right? So I painted mine. I'll show you. Mine's right here, leaning up against the wall because it's waiting for the 2020 to arrive. But I painted it black and then put the lettering back on, and you can see it just looks awesome. This red TRD lettering just pops. Now, I'll give you guys a little insight into something that's coming up for me. I'm changing the lettering on mine to Voodoo Blue. Tough Skins, if you haven't checked them out, check them out. Discount code rather, RobMotive 10 will give you 10% off your order. But they sell all kinds of stuff like this, little accent pieces, cup holder inserts, things like that. But I'm going to change mine to Voodoo Blue. It should be coming from them any day now. We'll have a video on how to do that. But this adds just a little bit of pizzazz to the front of your truck, if you will. Looks awesome under there, and the good thing about having it just spray painted, I actually used bed liner, black, is that if you scratch it up, if you're an off-roader or anything hits it or whatever, just get under there with that rattle can, touch it up a little bit, it'll look good as new. Anyway, these are just a few things that I included on my Tacoma Christmas list for 2019. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this stuff. If you already have some of this stuff. As usual, appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time on the web. Have a great day. Bye.